How to live a life without regret. Actually, this sparked up after I had a mastermind call today with Brian Kurtz, but that's a completely different story. But it's a good thing for you if you don't have a mentor, you don't have groups where you're part of, you don't have people that amp you up, motivate you, get you stoked up. Start finding people that can do, because that's the only way, either as an entrepreneur or as a human being, you're going to actually elevate yourself to a next level, is to be part of groups that instantaneously understand the struggles that you have, are steps ahead of you, and where you could be or are the stupidest person in the room, and they will just lift you up and you'll learn through osmosis. That being said, how are we going to live a life without regret? And this is actually a part. I have multiple timelines that I wanted to add into this, but one of them is actually the thing that came up today. Is I was once interviewed together with my girlfriend about our life as we lived in Asia, and they wanted to create a story for TV, and they wanted to have it based on an actual story, which meant we were going to be interviewed, and part of our lives would be interjected into a little bit more magical, beautiful storyline compared to what it actually was. I'll just try to see if I can find the actual video, because somewhere floating online, you can probably see it. You don't see me, but you'll see the pretty person who represents me. And the thing that is very important in that conversation that I had with the writer of this actual TV show was the fact that he asked me and my girlfriend the same question, which we both couldn't answer, and we both stood still at, and we had a conversation later on, like, what was your answer on this question? So the question was, what choice in your life, looking back, would you want to change, or would you wish you did otherwise? And as you might not know, but I became a father at a pretty early age. I was 20 or 21. It's not something I would advise you to do if you ever want to enjoy your life or not get gray hairs, but that's a different story. But basically, yeah, I had to overcome the challenges that came from becoming a father, and at the same time living in a different country, and all kinds of crazy nuances. But yeah, even if you live in a Western world, becoming a father at a young age is going to change your life. But that formulated into certain steps that I had to take, certain actions that I took, certain things that I did in my life, specifically because now I had to care for more people than just my own ass. And I had to put my ego a little bit to the side. When this interviewer asked me the question, like, hey, what looking back at your life or at your stay here, what would you want to change? And both me and my girlfriend had a hard time asking it or answering it, because I came to the conclusion that irregardless of what decision I took, that decision brought me here. Same as that you are now watching this video or another, or doing something based on all the steps prior to what you have done so far, and that led you to this point. If you would have taken a divergent road or a different set of steps or actions, you might not have ended up in this place. So from my perspective, it was, and especially if I look back at some of my friends that I didn't see for a very long period of time when I came back to Europe, was the fact that they sort of grew, but they also stood still, where I had to massively endure a growth space, because now I had to, take care of more people than just one. If I did not have that chance or that opportunity or that moment in time that changed my life or the trajectory of my life, I probably would have ended up differently. Would that have hurt me? Would that have not panned out? Would that not have been my life, that it was a beautiful place where I'm in then and now? I don't think so. I'd still be able to be the person who I was, but that formulated into certain things that I had to take. So I answered this person, I don't want to change anything, because everything that I did up until today led till today and led till the point that I am. So let's revert that back into how to live a life ruthlessly or without irregards of other people, which is basically, we always want to please other people. We always want to make sure that other people like us, agree with us, and make us feel good. That doesn't mean that you have to adjust your life to it. So if you're young, let's say anybody below 30 years old who has not really segmented their life into certain bases, take risk, fail, try things, if something feels good and you want to do it, go freaking do it, because you have to. You have to figure out, and you have to make mistakes. And the best way to actually learn things or learn what you don't like is actually to fail and do something that you did like. Same thing in the conversation today came up, a woman who passed the bar and didn't want to become a practicing lawyer. I can imagine that there's hundreds of thousands of people in the world that would love to become a lawyer, but don't have the chance. Or as this woman would have described her, if she wouldn't have become or passed the bar and now is an official lawyer, she probably would have asked herself the what if, what if. And you don't want to end up in your life where you're going to question, like, what if I did this, what if I did that, what if. No, you have this moment where you take decisions right now, and those decisions, they'll make changes in your life, but you also need to take risks and take leaps and think bigger than what you currently are, and not be afraid of what other people might think, what might happen, or creating the worst case scenarios that you always have. I was having a conversation with one of my business clients, and he pointed out a book about biases and how we kind of figure it out. And then if you look at a book by Daniel Kahneman, where it's just Thinking Fast and Slow, which he basically says you have two rhythms in your head, which is a really fast decision maker and a slow decision maker. And the fast decision maker is almost instantaneously. We tested this comparatively with my partner, and she said, like, now I understood this. I understood that the immediate reaction that I had upon choices or upon things happening, my brain went to the worst case scenario and never looked at, like, what if the proper thing would happen. So take risk, fail, try things, figure things out, figure if it works for you. Be fearful in terms of what you want to do, and how you want to be in your life. So that's one of the tip I can give you, is just go out, do things. Don't wait for validation of other people. Don't wait if it's safe. Don't wait for the right time. The right time will never come. Before you know it, you're old and crazy, or you have 2 kids, or things happen. So for anyone above the age of 30, I would say, if you need to, and you have established yourself a little bit, maybe you have a partner, maybe you have a business, maybe you have a life, maybe you have a career, then still take those same lessons to heart. Try to take calculated risk. Don't think about what if or what could happen, and dare to dream and be ruthless. Like, if you want something, then be ruthless on actually running after the thing that you want to have. And even if you fail, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all, because you tried and you did something, you learned something new. Maybe you met something, maybe you had experiences that you otherwise wouldn't have. And as long as you can take those lessons in and you learn from whatever happened, good or bad, because they could be either way, you're always going to end up better. But so many people live life day by day, questioning themselves, hoping for the what if, doubting themselves, not knowing, not taking risks, not caring, not jumping off that cliff. And if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to have to take a lot of cliffs. Anybody else who's just wanting to die to do something fun or do something good in their life, take the leap. Like, if you're at that platform, that's the scariest parts in your life. If you're standing there, doubting yourself, questioning yourself, running through all these what ifs, take the leap. There's water, there's safety, you'll be fine. Just be ruthless in what you want and envision it to happen. Actually, I had to add a little addendum, because I had this in my brain when I was thinking about it, but I haven't added it in. Why do I want you to become ruthless, and why do I want you to enjoy your life to the fullest, is one simple reason. I almost died because of malaria, and I'll go deeper into that story another time, but life can be vastly different and vastly change on you by simple, minute little things that happen to you. And it sounds incredibly crazy, and I would not have expected, like, maybe you will die of a suicide or a car or this or a religious bombing or a terrorist or whatever. No, it was a tiny little mosquito, not even bigger than this probably. And my stupid bug head for not wanting to put on any kind of mosquito cream. Don't be me, but that's it. Like, once you understand your mortality and you stand still to your mortality, you'll figure out, okay, this can be over really fast, and I have to enjoy this, because not everybody gets the wish of a life granted, and not everybody gets the wish of a long, fulfilled life granted. So make sure you make your dreams come true.